In this Blender and Mixamo animation tutorial, we're going to see how we can download multiple animations from Mixamo and then combine them inside Blender. Blender has a non-linear editor for animations, and we can use that to combine animations from Mixamo or retargeted motion capture animations. The first step is to upload your character to Mixamo and get it auto-rigged. Once it's auto-rigged, pick some animations. We could start with an idle animation, perhaps this happy idle. This looks pretty great. I'll go ahead and download that. And I'm going to download it with the skin. And I'll also get a walking animation. The nice thing about these walking animations is you can have it actually move in space, which is sometimes really great. That way you have it moving at the speed you want without foot sliding, but other times you want it to be in place. So if I check this in place button right here, I can download it and then control it as I want to and repeat the animation. Then I'll also go ahead and get a running animation, and I'm also going to get this one in place. And then I'll get a jumping animation. We don't need to download them with the skin, but a lot of times it's nice to have the skin already on your animation. Depending on what you're doing, it also helps you remember which character is which. So if I have this jumping up animation here, which is different than jumping, if I download, I can go ahead and just say without skin and download that. Then inside Blender, I need to import the FBXs. If I go File, Import FBX, navigate to where you saved your animations. I'll select all of these animations and import them as FBXs. So now all my animations have come into Blender, and as you can see, it's just a big mess. Remember, we don't need to have the skins come in with the armatures. We can just import the armatures, but sometimes it's nice to have the skin as a backup to remember what you're looking at. The first thing to do is to go ahead and label these. So if I click this armature here, I can see this is armature 4, and this is the happy idle armature. So go through and label each of your armatures so you can see what you're doing. Once you have all your armatures labeled, we need to change our view from the timeline to the non-linear animation. I can drag this up so I can see a bit more. Here you can see that each of these armatures has happy idle, jumping, and then it also has these actions here. If I click on this, notice it has a name over here. So if I click over here, I can label this also happy idle. And then notice the name changes right here. If I click on this one is jumping, so I can label it jumping. It's important to label these because we're going to be seeing them in a drop-down list, and it'll be very confusing which one is which. Once you have all of your actions labeled, we can use this button right here. This pushes the action down. So here we have happy idle, jumping, jumping up, running, and then walking. I hid the walking animation because I'm going to start with that one. Then I'm going to marquee select everything here in the viewport, press M, make a new collection, call it Animation Archive, and then hide it in the viewport and in rendering. Then I can bring the walking animation back. I don't actually need to see the armature, so I can hide the armature. Now that I have the walking animation back, you can see that in the editor, I only have walking. So if I click over here on the left and press Shift A, I can get a new track. On this track, I can select Add Action, and here I have all of these actions. So then I can have a happy idle action. And notice, sometimes we won't see any other animation when one is on top. If I select this and I change the extrapolation to nothing, in the same way on this, instead of hold, change it to nothing, then I get the walking. But it snaps really fast to happy idle. And in fact, I probably want it to be happy idle and then walking. But as you can see, it still instantly starts walking. So if I click each of these, I can use auto blend in and out. And now as I change this, this will blend into the other one. And I probably want it to be idle for a bit and then walking for a bit longer. So if I click walking, I can change the repeat. So I can slide this out. I can make it exactly 3 repeats, or I can have it partial repeats. So now as you'll see that the animation goes for a little bit, then I can add a new track by pressing Shift A. And then on this track, I can hold my mouse over here and press Shift A, and I can get jumping. If I want jumping to be below, I can right click here and I can do track ordering to bottom. So now jumping's at the bottom here, This one already has the auto blend, but I'll add auto blend in, and I'll also change the extrapolation. So now I have happy idle, walking, and then jumping. This way we can move different animations around in Blender and combine them very quickly with the nonlinear animation editor. Hopefully you're able to use Mixamo animations and motion capture animations in Blender. Happy 3D modeling.